Morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Reed, are you there?
Yes, good morning.
Do you have a video?
Give me just a moment.
Okay. Okay, if I can get the parties to raise their right hand, please. You swear the testimony about to give shall be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay. We were, I don't recall the day we were last here, but we came back today. The items that were I think, marked in yellow, were those turned over?
No, sir, not all of them.
Ms. Grassham, is that correct, or?
Judge, my client took pictures of the items that were turned over. And I can go ahead and show those and share those with the court.
Okay. The list that we had marked last time, apparently I didn't keep a copy. Was it on email or did one of the parties have it?
So are you talking about Exhibit A? It should have been attached to the interim order by the court. We were last here on August 19th, if that helps. So the items that were marked in red or pink are the items that belong to the child. According to my client, I think some of those items, the parties both agreed belong to the child. And so the court was holding off making any ruling with respect to those items. The items that are not highlighted on Exhibit A were items that my client either testified were no longer there. And there are a few that are not actual items. They were just exhibits, like number 24 and number 25. Those are
I don't have the list. Can you email it?
Sure.
It's, let me give you the email. It's JP1, the letters JP and 1, and then El Paso County written out @gmail.com.
JP, the number 1, correct?
Yes, the numeral, yes.
Okay, I just sent that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, in my notes, I have the items in yellow would be turned over. Is that what was to happen?
Correct.
Okay,
And if the court wants the parties to go through each one, I mean, I'm sure that
okay. Well, let's just find out what Mr. Reed, which the items in yellow you said were not, or some of them were not turned over? Or
That's correct.
which one?
Looking at number 3, the 3-piece blue curtain set and 3 rods. She only gave me 2 pieces of the curtain set and no rods. Number 5, she only gave me one of the weed eaters and no extension cord.
Okay, well, let's go back up. Let's just start with number 3. Okay, Mrs. Grasheimer, your client, or is there a response?
Sure, if she can just have an opportunity to respond to each one individually, go ahead, Ms. Westbrook. You're on mute.
Unmute.
In one of the pictures that I sent to Ms. Grassheim, you can see the extension cord, and there is one weed eater and another lawn tool. There was only one weed eater in the shed, so I didn't have 2 of them. So the extension cord that he says wasn't there is in the picture. The curtain set, I gave back what I had. I don't have anything else. And he returned one of the curtain rods to me anyway.
Return one. What do you mean? After you turned them over, you returned another one?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Reed?
It was a half of a curtain rod that did not belong to me. The curtain rods that she knows I'm talking about are cylinder curtain rods, and they're actually hanging up in her den.
No, they're not. I have a,
They screw in to the wall. I'm the one that hung them up. The lady doesn't even know what she has in her house. I had to have my 5-year-old son find the ladder and the ladder for the bunk beds. So she has no clue what's even in her house.
Okay, let's not make accusations. Let's stick to what the,
An accusation, it was truth.
well, I just need to know where it's at. The curtain rods are they hung up in the house or the?
no, Your Honor. I returned those. I can show you where the window where they were hanging, and I now have a accordion blind up. I took it down and replaced the curtains and everything.
When did you take it down and replace the curtains?
Maybe 6 months ago. And then I as I was gathering everything, I put it in the garage to give back to him. And that was it's in the pictures.
In what pictures?
The pictures that I emailed to Ms. Grassheim with all of the stuff that I returned.
Are the pictures of stuff that you returned?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So why does that help?
I'm sorry.
If he's saying there's one missing, how does the pictures help?
Oh, everything I returned, the curtain rods and the curtains, what he's accusing me of not returning is in the pictures that I returned that he had a U-Haul come and pick up.
Okay.
So it's there. I gave it back to him.
If I may, Judge, share briefly.
Sure.
Okay, and I mean, also, I think that the court's aware that these are all items that were purchased, at least with some of them, items purchased when the parties were together. So, I mean,
Okay.
Judge, that is incorrect as well. Once again, Ms. Grassheim does not know what she's talking about.
Okay, Mr. Reed, just keep the other remarks who didn't know what they're talking about. Just state what you're going to state. Just say, no, they were purchased such and such date. I don't need the extra language.
Okay,
Okay.
we moved into that house on December 15th. We moved out on December 28th. I did not purchase any items during the time that we lived in that house.
Asking about those, we're just talking about those specific items. When were they purchased?
The beds are 38 years old. All these items that
I ask about the beds. We're asking about the curtain rods.
the curtain rods were purchased 2011.
Okay, by you.
That's correct.
Okay, that's all I need to know, what we're talking about, okay?
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Grassheim.
Judge, I believe that this picture shows a weed eater. This looks like some other kind of tool down here, an extension cord. Looks like there's blue curtains here. I'm not sure if this is part of a curtain rod. It's kind of hard to tell.
It is the curtain rod.
Okay.
It's the curtain rod.
Okay, so Mr. Reed, what is the problem with the curtain rods? There's how many curtain rods and what's missing?
One piece of the 3-piece curtain set, she only sent 2 pieces back. They're supposed to be 3 pieces. And 3 sets of curtains.
Just a minute, 1 piece of a 3-piece. So that means there's 2 pieces missing, not 1 piece, right?
No, 1 piece is missing. She sent back 2 pieces.
Okay, 1 piece missing, okay. What about the next item, weed eaters.
She sent back one weed eater instead of two.
What is the other weed eater?
I don't have it. It wasn't in the shed.
That wasn't a question of you. I was
Oh,
asking,
sorry.
what is the other weed eater?
It's an electric weed eater.
What's the brand?
Unsure at this moment because I don't know which one she gave back.
What do you mean you don't know? It's the one in the picture right there, is it not?
There's one in the picture right there, correct. There
Okay,
was
well,
supposed to be
that's, yeah, I got that. Okay, but you said you didn't know what the brand was, the one you got. It's right there in the picture.
Okay, then the other one was a lawn boy.
A what?
Lawn boy.
And where was it?
It was in the shed with the first weed eater.
Okay. Now, Miss Westbrook,
Yes, Your Honor.
was one located, or were they located in the shed? Is there anything left in the shed?
Everything that was in the shed that is yard tools, I put, it shows in the picture. There was one weed eater and whatever this other tool is, it looks like a hedge trimmer. And
The fact that it shows in the picture doesn't mean anything to me. You know, referring to it shows in the picture. That doesn't, you know, what difference does it make if it's in the picture?
this is on the day that you asked Mr. Reed to send somebody to come pick up all of his stuff. So I took pictures of everything that it was returned to him that his friend picked up in the U-Haul. I also have a video from my cameras that shows that they were loading all of this into the U-Haul for him. So this is all of the stuff that I returned.
Okay, great. I appreciate the pictures, but I mean, that doesn't show that there was never in existence another weed eater.
If there was, it was not left in the shed. He must have taken it when he got all of his after we separated.
Okay. Ms. Gressheim, if you can stop sharing just so I can go back to the list, please. Thank you. Okay, so what's the next item? Mr. Reed?
The next item was a metal pitcher. It's, I believe, number 9. The
Okay,
metal pitcher reads do what is right, not what is easy, that I purchased in 2018.
okay. Mrs. Westbrook?
He purchased that for my son's room. That was an
At
item
my
that belonged
apartment.
to my son.
Okay. I'm sorry, he purchased that for your son's room?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we went through this last time and you marked it yellow. Okay,
I don't know why it was marked in yellow. I don't have it though. It's probably something that he took with him when he moved all of his stuff out in
you
January.
said it was in your son's room.
No, he purchased it for my son's room. But I don't have it. He must have taken it.
Judge, is it okay if I just go back? We went through number 3, but we skipped 7 and 8. Does that mean he's indicating he received 7 and 8?
Hey, that's my understanding.
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay, next item.
Well, I want to go back to the metal pitcher. She keeps saying it was purchased for Thomas's room. Yes, it was purchased for Thomas's room at my home. It was not purchased for Thomas's room at her home.
Okay,
We have only lived together.
next
since
item.
2000. The next item that she failed, number 26, she did not supply the gray 2-piece curtain set.
Mrs. Westbrook?
I don't have it. Again, I don't know if he took it or not when he had a chance to come and take all of his belongings.
When you marked this yellow, you didn't check to see if they were there?
No, I don't. I looked through my entire house. I don't have them.
When you checked these yellow, did you not check to see if they were there?
No, I had already checked, but those were things that he was saying that I needed to return, but I had already told him that I didn't have them.
So,
Judge,
Judge?
during the last hearing, because we did it during the hearing, so I believe it was my client's testimony that if she had any of those items, she would gather everything that she had and turn them over.
And Judge, from what I recall
these
during
were
this
marked,
hearing,
right, just a minute.
they stated
I
that-
didn't ask any questions. This was marked in colored before we came to you presented it at the hearing, Mark. We didn't go through it.
No,
No, Your Honor.
We went through the items to offer an explanation, but they were already marked.
they were not, Judge. You asked me to mark them during the hearing.
That's not my recollection, but okay.
Judge, during the hearing, you asked them to mark which ones they had and which ones they were willing. They marked the ones that she had and was willing to give me in yellow. She marked the ones that she had and was not willing to give me in red. That's what they stated. They had the items. And now she's going back and saying she doesn't.
Next item.
The set of brown curtains, number 20, number 27.
Ms. Westbrook.
I don't have them, Your Honor.
Okay. Next item.
Number 30, the gardening tools. There were rakes, a shovel, and there were loppers. Also, she stated she had, and now she's saying she won't give them back.
Mrs. Westbrook.
I put all of the gardening tools he left behind in the pile when his friends came and picked up all of his stuff.
Yeah, you're asking specifically about a rake, shovel, loapers, electric hedge trimmer.
The electric hedge trimmer was returned.
Okay, so rake, shovel, and loapers.
I returned everything that I have, Your Honor. Everything that he left behind, I
They
returned.
did not have a rake, shovel, or loaper?
They weren't here. They weren't in the shed or the garage.
Okay, next item.
The paperwork that she says she had, she did not return anything except for love letters that she had written me. I did not receive.
Number 44?
Yes, sir. I did not receive my paperwork from my prior attorney dealing with Miss Westbrook, or any receipts, or my school homework, or any of my journals.
Your Honor, he's never kept a journal in his life. And not only that, but I returned everything that I have of his. I do not want anything of his in my house ever again. So I returned the only box that had paperwork in it. If it's not here, then he took it.
Number 45. I'm sorry, next one. I'm sorry. I don't know if 45 is an issue or not.
That's all the ones that she said she was going to, that she had and she was going to return. As far as the other ones, everything on this list is mine. My understanding is she's given away a lot of things that are mine. And if that's the case, I would like the money that it cost me for these items.
Okay, what is the, okay, so the ones in red are ones that Mrs. Westbrook contends are the children's, correct?
He contends that she has, and that they're.
That wasn't a question for you, Mr.
Oh.
It was a question for Mr. Grassheim, Ms. Westbrook. The ones in red or pink are the ones that she contends that are the children's, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and then the children have them?
The child, yes, sir.
Yes, child, one child.
Okay. Does Mr. Reed has visitation, correct?
Yes,
He
sir.
does,
Okay,
but she has primary custody.
okay. Why wouldn't he be allowed to take these tools over to his house where the children have visitation?
He's allowed to take whatever he wants whenever he wants. I don't have a problem with him taking anything when he wants it, but I let him choose what he wants to take and what he doesn't want to take.
The items in red,
I don't have the list in front of me. I'm sorry.
why aren't those allowed to go with the children to his house?
He can take them if he wants them.
Why are we holding them back then?
I'm not holding them back. If Thomas wants to take something, he can take them. The number 6, the Red Tricycle, was an item that was used when he was 2 years old. It wasn't built for a 5-year-old. I don't have it anymore. Chris knows that. We donated it. The height chart was a gift from Thomas that hangs in from Thomas's aunt, which hangs in his room right now.
Number is that?
If he wants to take it over there, he can take it. I just don't see why I have to take down Thomas's world here in order to appease Mr. Reed.
You don't know why you have to take what? I'm sorry?
I don't know why I have to disassemble Thomas's life here in order to appease Mr. Reed. Most of this is his, it's his stuff.
They're items I bought from my house, Judge.
Can it be his stuff at his father's house?
So a lot of this stuff is actually
Not Thomas's.
like the DVDs are mine, which I bought.
Read that.
Toys, if he wants to take toys, he can take toys. I don't have a problem with him taking toys. The hammock, Mr. Reed got back. The blanket, the tie-dye picnic blanket is mine.
Why was it marked red then?
They're either mine or Thomas's stuff.
I mean, why do we go through this if everything's changing?
Good question, Your Honor.
I don't know why he would. They were either my things or Thomas's things were in red or pink.
Last hearing, they were the kids' things. Now they're yours and the kids.
It was, sorry, Judge, it was both. And the items that were not highlighted were items that she indicated that she believes she no longer had in her possession.
The ones that aren't highlighted?
Correct.
Okay, but she was just naming off the things in red now.
Right. So distinguishing between those and the items that were in yellow, this court had also requested the date of the party's final family court hearing, which has passed. The court has issued a ruling on that particular hearing with respect to, any custody and visitation matters. At that hearing, Mr. Reed did request that the court grant him primary custody. The court decided that primary custody would remain with Ms. Westbrook. However, Mr. Reed continues to have visitations with the child.
Okay, was the property addressed?
No.
Okay, so the items in that aren't highlighted, it's Mrs. Westbrook's contention that those are missing?
Correct, or things that were thrown or that she no longer has. For example, the gray number 18, the high chair, the child's 5. She wouldn't have the high chair anymore. Number 16, the white laundry basket. I believe she testified last time that it was broken and she threw it away. We're also talking about number 19, 4 magnetic chip clips. I think that's like a, $1 thing. She kind of went through a lot of these and indicated, what she thought she might not have anymore, either because the child has outgrown them or because they were just such, minuscule items that she doesn't know if they were thrown away or broken. The items that were in pink were items of both pieces of furniture and like individual, personal items of the child's, like the books and the DVDs, or things that the parties could not agree to whom they belonged.
Mr. Reed, any comment?
I just know that I supplied pictures and I supplied proof that all of these items were mine whenever we were not living together, that I purchased all of these items, and that these items were meant for either Thomas's room in my home or for my own pleasure, like such as the DVDs, because I doubt Thomas watches Twilight or Message in a Bottle. And as far as the books, number 23, I highly doubt that Thomas reads Gray or One Child, Two Homes. Those are all items that I purchased whenever Sally and I were not living together for my home. And when we moved in together for those 14 days, she decided to keep all of it.
Your Honor, we didn't move in for 14 days. He moved into my house in September and he had an apartment, but he spent the night. He started basically living at my house a year before this even happened, before we even split up. His timeline is way off. A lot of these things I purchased or he purchased and gave to me as gifts, or he gave to Thomas as gifts, or we bought together.
Okay.
Your Honor, as far as my timeline goes, whenever I say we moved in together, that's whenever I moved my items in with her items. And it was for 14 days.
He moved in September because he had lost his job and he couldn't afford to keep his apartment. He moved into my duplex before we even moved into this house, months before. So he had already moved his items in. And most of these aren't even items that he moved in. They were already at my house.
Mr. Reed, of the items in yellow that you didn't receive, what you said monetary value, what's your?
For the items in yellow, the monetary value, I would say $500 total.
Items in red, pink.
Items in pink. I would, off the top of my head, $700.
Mrs. Reed, I'll give you an opportunity to say your idea of value.
I'm sorry.
I want your opinion as to the value of the items in yellow that he contends were not returned.
Oh, maybe $100,
Okay.
if that.
And the items in yellow, I'm sorry, in pink.
None, because they're not his.
That's
Zero.
not the question. What is the value of the items in pink?
Of the things that he didn't get back, or just everything in pink?
The items in pink.
Maybe 200, 300 at the tops.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to award Mr. Reed $100 for the items in yellow. I'm going to order that the items in pink be turned over to Mr. Reed. If they're not turned over, the alternate value is $500. Any questions from any party, or Ms. Grassheim, any comments or questions?
No, sir.
You want a date on that?
Let's say we'll return them on or before, let's say 2 weeks. October. By November 9th.
There are items that she's specifically indicated she doesn't have. Does the court want her to purchase a red tricycle that the child no longer can use?
It was made for a young child, Your Honor. It had a awning thing and a strap. He rides a regular bicycle now. He doesn't ride a tricycle anymore.
When was the tricycle gotten rid of?
I gave it away maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, he was still very young. We had 3 of those tricycles. We gave them away.
Right. I mean, the parties were together before, Judge. Obviously their family case has a 2017 case number. The parties were together for a period of time when the child was born, and then separated and then got back together. So there's been on and off throughout the child's life.
Mr. Reed, you want to comment any?
Sir, it doesn't matter what I say, Sally's going to continue lying. So I'm just going to let you.
Again, Mr. Reed, I just asked you a question. I appreciate an answer, not a sarcastic remark.
Okay. I don't know what she's giving me. No, I have nothing else to say.
Okay. So, and the red tricycle, you didn't dispute it. I guess it's gone. So we don't have to worry about the red tricycle. Any other items?
I dispute all the items that are in red. If she said she had them at our last hearing and now she says she doesn't.
I just gave you the opportunity to state when you last saw it, what you knew about it, and you chose not to. So we're going on to the next item.
Okay. The multiple DVDs I saw on December 28, 2019.
Your Honor, if I may, I'm sorry. If you look at the DVDs that he's talking about, I know that there are a lot of liberations with gender, but if you look at the DVDs, these are all very girly DVDs. These are all DVDs except for the cartoon DVDs, which are my son's. These are all my DVDs. I purchased these, or we purchased them together.
Okay, I would appreciate asking. Let's go to the next item.
The Tonka ambulance, fire truck, and garbage truck, and the Franklin basketball.
I'm asking
So,
Mrs.
December 28.
Grassheim or Mrs. Westbrook, is there any items that they want to bring up now, the items in pink?
The Sony DVD player, I believe my client had already previously testified about that particular item. In addition, the Maglite flashlights, she
What
said,
about the Sony DVD player?
go ahead, Ms. Westbrook.
If I am remembering correctly, I think that was one that he had purchased, one for my house and one for his house. And it was a gift that he gave for Thomas so that Thomas could watch DVDs here.
Okay.
The other item was the 4 Maglite flashlights. The last time we were here, she indicated that as far as she recalled, there were not 4, or there were not 4 in her possession. Is that correct, Ms. Westbrook?
Yes,
How many do you have in your possession that you're aware of?
I do not have any now. I returned what I had.
When?
When he sent his friends to pick up all of his stuff.
Why would you return that? That wasn't in yellow.
So we didn't have to argue about it.
And do you have a picture of that?
I'm gonna see if it appears in the photos that I have, but it's a little bit difficult. I mean, there are things in these photos. May I share screen
Here, okay.
that are not specifically listed? So here's another picture. I'm not sure what's in this box. I don't know if Mr. Reed can tell us what's in that box or what was in this box here.
Well, Ms. Westbrook could testify where she put it.
That was the paperwork that he asked for, that he's saying I didn't return.
I also have another picture. This one looks like the same stuff, but I believe the difference here is that we see the feather duster and a lamp.
And a blender and a meatloaf pan, Tupperware. This large white box over here had,
I'm not asking about any of that. We were talking about the mag lights.
I think I put the mag lights in the white box. Or I put them in the drawers of the dresser. I mean, the desk.
Mr. Reed? The mag
No,
lights?
sir, I did not have any, I did not see any mag lights.
Okay. Next item. We have an issue about.
So the hammock was already turned over, from my understanding.
Correct, Mr. Reed?
That's correct.
Okay.
The tie-dyed picnic blanket, my client continues to contend that that is hers.
What's the story behind the tie-dyed picnic blanket? This is what,
That's incorrect. I bought that at Walmart whenever I bought.
I did not ask you anything, Mr. Reed. I just asked Mr. Reed. What is the story about the tie-dyed picnic blanket?
We bought it together. And he, tie-dye is, I love tie-dye, and that was something that we got together because I liked it. It was something that we bought for me.
When did you buy it? Where did you buy it?
Walmart. It was during a grocery trip that we took, just grocery shopping. Saw it.
Okay. Mr. Reed?
I bought it at Walmart whenever I bought Thomas a tent for he and I to go camping out of my father's ranch, 400 miles away from El Paso.
So you were not with Miss Westbrook at the time when you bought it?
I was not living, she was with me because I was buying her groceries for her house while I bought my groceries for my house.
Okay, so she was with you.
Your
Yes, sir.
Honor, I have a picture of us in the tent sitting on the blanket in my backyard. I can find that picture for you if you want. It was something that was at my house that we kept it at my house for me. He bought it because for me.
Okay, the tie-dyed blanket is out. What's the next item?
Ms. Westbrook, does it make it easier if I put the list back up?
Yes, please. Thomas's apron I bought for him. multiple
What
books.
number is this?
22, it's right after the tie-dye blanket. Are we going one by one through the list?
No,
I don't know what else we're contending then. I don't know what else on the list needs to be addressed that he's saying he needs.
okay.
Anything that you contend you either don't have because the court has ordered you to turn it over. So if you don't have it, now is the time for you to let the court know that you don't have it. Or anything that you contend belongs to you specifically or was purchased by you or with Mr. Reed together, so that we're not coming back here again.
Okay, so the books, number 23, The I Spy Valentine's Day is Thomas's book. Chris had bought Two Homes, One Childhood for me. Gray, I have the entire series, that's mine. How to Talk to Kids So Kids Will Listen, and Listen So Kids Will Talk. He bought 2 copies, one for him, one for me. The St. Patrick's Day and
Oh,
Dad.
if there's 2 copies, there should be 1 copy to turn over.
I only have 1 copy here. I don't have both copies. If he probably took the other copy. I don't have his copy.
Mr. Reed?
I have my copy.
No, sir, I do not.
Okay, what is that? What book is that?
That's so kids will listen and listen so kids will talk. And also the book Gray is not even mine. It's Christina Bishop's. She's a sheriff in El Paso and she's expecting her book back.
Okay, what else, Mrs. Westbrook?
24 and 25 were the course, the gray 2-piece curtain set. I don't have brown.
The items in pink we're talking about.
Oh, the 2 leather baseball gloves, I don't have. He must have taken them and they're Thomas's anyway.
Why would you? Okay, go ahead. What other items?
Can I see the rest of the list, please? The black bonded leather belt. I have the belt of Thomas's that I bought for him, and that's Thomas's anyway. So if he sent one, it's Thomas's, and I probably sent it back. Wooden treasure chest I put back, even though it was Thomas's. A&M stuffed bear, Thomas's. Stuffed tooth fairy puppy is Thomas's. Wooden step stool I bought, which is Thomas's. That's the rest of the stuff in pink, Your Honor.
Okay, so so I've ordered $100 for the items in yellow. I'm going to reduce the amount of the items in pink to $300. What's not included is a red tricycle and the tie-dye blanket. Other than that, the other things in pink need to be turned over.
Or the amount of $300.
Yes. Anything further?
I just,
November 9th.
I'm sorry, just so that the order is very clear, it's $100 judgment for a piece of a 3-piece curtain set. The metal picture that reads, "Do what is right, not what is easy." The other 2-piece curtain sets, number 26 and 27.
It's a weed eater. There's items I stopped keeping count of, but we're not going to identify everything with $100. Yes, but
Your Honor, if I may, I'm sorry, but he had a chance to come get all of his stuff, and I believe it was February. He had a police escort, so a lot of the stuff that he's claiming that I didn't return, he had a truck, a U-Haul that he took full of stuff. So how do we know that he doesn't have it and he's just saying that I owe him, even though he took the majority of his stuff? I mean,
we've had 2 hearings on this to flush that out, and this is what we came up with.
And I know the court wasn't keeping specific track, but if I'm gonna draft the order, I would prefer that it indicate the items that the court has ascribed the $100 value to. So that's why I'm just trying to figure out. It's the curtain sets, a rake, a shovel, and loppers.
A gray two-piece something.
Correct. Number 26.
Oh, I have my writing, metal picture, weed eater,
Yes.
lopper,
So I
brown
will-
two-piece curtain set, paperwork, 45, what was 45? You scroll down some?
He got the feather
Oh, the
duster.
feather duster, that was there.
What I have listed is part of number 3, number 9, number 26, 27, 30, and 44 were the things that he claims he did not get back. Is that correct?
You could draft the order and then you can send it to Mr. Reed for him to review too.
And then the items in pink that the court is ordering her to return. Basically everything except the tricycle and the blanket.
Correct.
Although he has previously been to the home and had access to the home to retrieve items.
Apparently, the ones in white are the ones that she said she no longer had, but that wasn't expressed the last hearing.
We did go through, you know, the little small items. I specifically recall going through the high chair and the chip clips and the vacuum cleaner attachments. The parties also argued quite a bit about the items that belong to the child. This court thought that perhaps the family court would address that. Obviously, because we're not the ones requesting these things, we did not bring that up at the hearing. That was not brought up by Mr. Reed or his counsel at that hearing either.
Okay, anything else?
I don't have anything else.
Okay, it's the proposed order. If you want to send it to the court and Mr. Reed, then if you have any other questions, I guess we'll have a status hearing, but well, just send that order to the court and Mr. Reed, and I will look at it. Thank you, Ms. Grosson. Thank you,
Thank
Mr. Reed. Thank you, Ms. Westbrook.
Thank you.
Your Honor.
I'm gonna end the meeting.